We're experiencing some technical difficulties, but we're getting it through. I have to relocate.
I feel like we're on The View.
Me too.
My ears.
I'm like, where's Wendy? Alyssa! Alyssa!
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Let's List. I'm Giovanni Verdi.
And I'm Emily Pisano, and today we are going to be talking about the senior experience along with our favorite past academic experiences with our dear friend, Ms. Kaylee Malone.
Hi, Kaylee.
Hi.
Let's just start right into it. First big news that we've heard over the weekend, moving homecoming to January. Who's surprised? I'm not.
Me neither.
No.
Yeah, me neither.
They were moving football, so I assume homecoming would follow with the football.
Yeah, I mean, when I filmed the last episode, we didn't know that homecoming was like getting moved. We kind of assumed that it would be just canceled. So I feel a little bit more hopeful now because at least they're expecting for it to happen at some point.
I'm feeling hopeful that if they're moving homecoming, prom is still going to be a thing. Last year, I was very excited. Good thing we have this year. How have your thoughts been about our schedules, the hybrid scheduling? How do you feel about the hour-long periods in the day, only doing 6? What are your thoughts?
The hour-long periods feel way too long, especially when you have double period for your science classes. I think that we should have just stuck with the 8-period days and kept the regular times.
100%. I agree with you. Can't say I disagree.
I think that it has something to do with the logistics. There obviously was reason behind making it 6 periods, whether it's for COVID tracing reasons or because they didn't have enough staff to cover all 8 with the new model. So, I mean, I think if you're a senior, you're a little bit more lucky because the majority of people have periods off or early releases. But I think that 6 periods is an adjustment, especially with the time difference. But we did have 3 years of high school with 8 periods. So what were some of your academic experiences with that?
Well, I think it was nice always having the 8 periods because I was able to take so many different electives, especially because I never took a lunch. So every year I was able to take my core classes, but also fill in with any electives I wanted to, for the most part.
Yeah.
I think it was nice having more time during the day to do what you wanted.
Understandable. I like the 8-period day. I felt like it was normal that way. You know, this year I wasn't expecting to go back to normal really, but I guess they're trying their best to give us somewhat of a senior year, considering that the last year's seniors did get a little bit of the short end of the stick. So we can appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that what Kaylee said is like the important thing that like if you were going to advise like younger people watching this, if you're planning out your schedule, just because your friends might be taking like all like major courses and like trying to fill their schedules with APs, doesn't mean that there isn't room to explore different interests. That's one of the best things about PadMed is that they do offer so many different courses.
Mm-hmm.
So I think taking advantage of that is really important. I think it's something that I regret a little bit from my past 3 years was focusing on the really core academics when I had some room to maybe throw in an elective that I might have been interested in. So that's what I would advise people to do. But I think overall, there's definitely been some highlights in the courses that we have gotten to take, whether they are electives or just straight academic courses.
Absolutely. Alrighty, so now let's dig in. Now that we're talking about our past academics, we're going to be talking about which 5 of our favorite courses we've had in the past years have been our favorites, give a little reason why. Gio, would you like to start us off?
Sure. So my number 5 is AP Psychology. I am taking that this year, so I can't really put it up higher on the list. I don't know too much about it. But I have Mrs. Svita. It's online, and I'm still like in love with the class. It's so much fun. I think it's just like an interesting course. It's an AP, so if you're worried about your weighting and like your GPA, it'll help that. And overall, I think it's just something that like every high schooler should take as you're becoming an adult.
So my number 5 is going to be chorus. I've only taken it last year, and now this year I'm in it again. It's definitely fun. Reese is a very fun teacher, and I have like a lot of friends in it, so that's what's made it fun for me. I think that most of the courses I'm going to list are because I've had friends in the class where I enjoyed the teacher. I'm not the biggest fan of school, so that's definitely why my list might be a little weird. But that was my number 5. Kaylee, do you want to tell us yours?
I think my number 5 is probably personal law. I took that freshman year, and it was definitely an interesting class, and Mr. Brienza taught it, and I really like him. And it was definitely good if you like think you like law or like want to head somewhere towards that, because it's informative. I liked it a lot.
Great.
Awesome. So my number 4 is a little bit out of the box for me. I took web design Java in 9th grade, and if you know me, you know I'm not a STEM person, so this was definitely weird, but I had so much fun in that class. I had Mrs. Moshman, and she just made the course seem really accessible for somebody who's not crazy into technology and computers. So I just remember we got to be really creative in our projects and do stuff that was important to us while learning how to do HTML and Java coding. So I recommend taking that course to anyone who thinks it could interest them, even if you're not so much of a math or science person.
Sounds good. Mine would have to be, I took media arts in my freshman year. I took it both parts of the year because it is a half-year class, so I did take it in the fall and then in the spring. It was definitely fun. I'm not really a creative person like that, but like you said, it was just my teacher, Ms. Brigman. She was a great teacher. She walked us through step by step on how to do each project, and it definitely was a lot of fun just being on the computers for a period in the day. That would be mine.
My number 4 is probably marine science. It was a very fun class to take and very like, not hands-on, but like a very involved class. And we watched a lot of like documentaries that weren't like the boring kind of documentaries. It wasn't hard to do well. Mr. Schuster is a great teacher, so I really enjoyed taking that class.
Awesome.
Nice.
My number 3 course was AP Language. That's the course that you take in 11th grade for English if you're not taking English 11. And I did not expect to enjoy the course. I expected to just kind of survive it because it had a lot of scary emotions surrounding it. But I had Mrs. Pereira, and I not only grew in my knowledge of English and the way to analyze literature and develop my writing, but I also just grew as a person. I think that has more to do with her as a teacher. She was just phenomenal in addressing issues that pertain to us and even just working them into her lessons.
She seems like a good teacher. I didn't have her, but she seems like a really great teacher. Mine is going to have to be my Global 10 class. I had Miss Suida. Again, it definitely was because of Miss Suida. She's a great teacher. She's very fun. I like the way she teaches. She tells them like stories to keep you interested, not it just straight out history. That definitely made it really fun for me. So that would be mine.
I think my number 3 class is probably child psychology, which I took last year. And obviously I really enjoyed it because that's the class you get the fake babies in for a weekend. And even if like you plan on going into education, or if you even plan on having kids, like just taking that class, it's nice to know like how to handle certain situations. Love Mrs. Carluccio, and obviously the baby project was the highlight of that class.
Yeah. I remember when you did have your baby, we did go out to a restaurant for babies. It was definitely fun. So I recommend taking that class just to get the babies and going out in public with them.
Yeah. I went to the outlets, went out to dinner, and I went to a friend's birthday party, all with my baby.
Crazy times it
that
was.
was an experience.
Yeah.
I definitely am not having children, but I think that was a course that I probably missed out on because I think that it could be really helpful. I plan on going into education, so I think that's a great pick. And my number 2 course is the same as Emily's, I think number 5 course. I've been taking choral ensemble since I was in freshman year, and I had Mr. Reach, obviously, for all 4 years. I think that class, I'm not like a choral singer, so I wasn't like, woo, chorus.
Yeah,
but I just have enjoyed performing and being involved in music my whole life. So this natural path kind of brought me into a larger sense of community and It's where the majority of my high school memories have come from. If you're a part of chorus, you can then make yourself a larger part of Glee Club or Vocal Jazz or the musical if you audition for them. And overall, that entire department as a whole really brings you to friends of any age, and you can just try new things with music, which if you're passionate about that, it's a very fun experience.
Yeah. And I wasn't passionate about music, so if you're intimidated by it, don't be, because it's like literally for everyone. Like, it's just whatever. Okay, so mine is going to have, my next course is going to have to be my AP Bio class. And again, it's because I had Miss Valera as a teacher. She was a great teacher. She, although it was an AP class, she definitely was treating us like any normal class. She made it very easy for us. I mean, although the course is a challenging course, she made it very easy. She was open with extra help. It definitely was one of my favorite courses, and I am looking to major in something to do with science. It was definitely a really informative course that I'm gonna keep with me. So thank you to Miss Valero, who I do have again this year, and it's been great.
My number 2 class, and one of the first that's like an actual core class, was probably my Beacon Pre-Calc class. It was one of the easiest math classes I've ever taken, and it gives you, if you pay for the credit, you get the college credit like you would an AP, but you don't have the stress of an AP test, just a final at the end of the year that your teacher creates. No regents. Your final, your teacher could put on whatever they want. So if you didn't cover anything, like, you weren't in a rush. And Miss Thornton is one of the best teachers I've ever had. She taught so well, and she almost made it feel like she was adjusting to it too, which definitely helped because it made her a lot more like understanding, and she would explain very well. And I had a bunch of friends in that class. So definitely one of the math classes I've enjoyed.
So my number 1 high school course that I've ever taken was Spanish for Honors with Senorita Mala. I have planned on being a Spanish teacher ever since around 9th grade. So I was very excited to move into a level of Spanish where it wasn't everyone in Spanish. This was a level for higher level speakers or people who were more interested in taking it. We were told while I was taking it, and I've been told this year already by my AP Spanish teacher, that for honors in some ways is even harder than AP Spanish. So,
really?
But at the same time, when I was taking it, I did not feel like it was not manageable. I felt like I could handle it. I felt like it was really like challenging and educational, but in a way that I was like, I'm growing and I'm not just like floundering in this environment. So I really enjoyed it. I adore Miss Mala. She's like my teacher twin, and I totally recommend it if the course does come back at any year.
Yeah. Alrighty, my number 1, it was my 9th grade English class. I had it with Miss Lewis. It was definitely fun. I feel like all 9th grade English is fun because that's when you read like the better books that you will read during high school. I had a lot of friends. I met like all my friends in that class. I met Kaylee in that class. And it definitely was very fun. Like, that's where you read Romeo and Juliet and you get to like acting out and stuff. It definitely was one of the better courses I've taken. Definitely fun. I do miss it. And Miss Lewis, she was a great teacher.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
My top class was criminal justice. I took it last year, and I liked that it was an elective, but you took it every day. So you really got to cover a lot of different things, and you obviously learned about, you did serial killers, about cults, gangs, like you got to learn about everything. And all the projects were great. I have Miss Kreka this year for Criminal Justice Part 2, but I had Mr. Varley last year. He is the best teacher I've ever had. He's the sweetest person, looks intimidating, is not. I love him so much. His teaching style was great. That class definitely helped and was definitely informative, especially since I plan on majoring in criminal justice. So if you want to commit to the class, that's the one.
And you do get to go to the jail.
Yes, you go to the jail and the courthouse.
Oh, and the courthouse.
Yeah, although maybe not in COVID, because...
Hopefully. Who knows?
Yeah. And it's crazy that this is our last year.
I know.
We're done.
Who would have thought it? It's really just like that when we're done.
Flies by.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they always
really.
say it. They're always like, it's gonna go so fast. And when you're in
You're
it,
like,
it does not feel like
no.
that. But at this point, I'm like, where did it go?
I'm like, oh wow. Yep.
Yeah.
So a huge thank you to Kaylee for coming and hanging out to talk about our high school
Yeah.
courses.
Thank you for having me. It's been so fun hearing your opinions.
Thanks. Maybe I'll be back.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Let's List. Next week will be a different episode with a different topic, so be sure to tune in.
Definitely, and we'll probably also have another guest on the little podcast. And if you are interested, just come and follow me and Gio if you wanted to be on it. But it's been so fun seeing you, and we will see you in the next video.